Hey, second graders. I hope you are having a great day and start to your week. I am back here to go ahead and do another math lesson for you, and it's kind of a continuation from what we did last week with subtraction and regrouping. So if you have your poem, your subtraction poem handy, maybe it's on a computer or an iPad, or maybe you did print it out, or maybe you wrote it down in a notebook somewhere or took a picture on a phone or something. If you have that subtraction poem, it is going to probably be helpful to you today as well. So you might want to have that handy, okay? So pause the video if you need to go grab it, all right? If not, that's okay too. You can always grab it later if you need it. You have that tool accessible to you in the document that we send your parents last week and this week, okay? So it's in both. This week, we're going to kind of try to focus on 3-digit subtraction. So a 3-digit number minus another 3-digit number, okay? And you might have to borrow from a neighbor 2 times. So you might have to go to one neighbor, and that neighbor doesn't have anything, so you have to go to the next neighbor down the street. And we know our whole streets can help us out, right? Especially right now. So we're going to practice that today with triple digit or 3-digit subtraction. And then we're also going to kind of talk about how to check your subtraction answer. So if you were testing, how could you check to see if you were right without using a calculator, okay? But as always, we're going to kind of warm our brains up first with some subtraction problems, okay? Are you ready? Remember, I'm always going to ask you, you need something to write with, either a pen, a pencil, a marker, a whiteboard, and something to write on, okay? Piece of paper, construction paper, whatever you have lying around, okay? So grab something to write with. If you don't have something, pause the video, go get it, and come on back, okay? Here's our warm-up for today. We're going to do some subtraction warm-up, okay? So hopefully you can see this here, okay? Your first problem is 16, take 8 away. Go ahead and write that one down. 16, take 8 away. I'm going to remind you of a few strategies here. I'm going to turn my phone so that you can see the board, hopefully. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So a couple strategies we have, right? You can start at 16 and hop back 8, right? You can start at 8 and hop up to 16. Or the strategy that I'm hoping maybe popped into your mind was a little bit of a fact triangle and a doubles fact, right? So if you can think about the relationship 16 and 8 have, right? You can think about adding 8 plus 8 is 16. So 16 minus 8 is going to be 8. Those fact triangles really come in handy here, right? If 16 is up top and you have 8 here, think 8 plus what gives you 16? Well, you know that doubles fact 8 plus 8, right? So that's a good strategy to use here. Your next problem is 12, take away 6. Go ahead and write that number sentence down. Remember, a number sentence can also be called a number model, or if you want the real fancy word, they're called equations, okay? So this is an equation. 12 minus 6 equals. That's a fancy word. You can go tell your parents about it, okay? Oh, I did equations with Mrs. Green today. They'll be like, oh my goodness, are you in 3rd grade? 12 take away 6. Again, you could count back 12 take 6 away. You could count up 6 up to 12, or you can think about how these are in a relationship, right? They are, again, part of a fact family that is a doubles fact. 6 plus 6 gives you 12. So if you work backwards, 6 plus 6 is 12, 8 plus 8 is 16. This one I want to point out to you, 10 minus 6, which is our next one, is not a doubles fact. But they do have a common relationship here. So go ahead and write that problem down. 10 minus 6 equals that number model or number sentence or equation. Fancy. 10 take away 6. Again, you could use some other strategies. Okay, 6 count up to 10, 10 take away 6, or you can think about, yes, your tens pairs. Okay, we know those tens pairs, right? Like 9 plus 1 and 8 plus 2. So 6 plus what gives us 10? 4. Very good. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and clear my board. We're gonna do a couple more warm-ups, practice those strategies. These will really help us when we're going to check our work, but also just in general, we have to have really solid subtraction facts in order to get those bigger subtraction problems going. So make sure you're practicing on Freckle and I Know It Math, those subtraction facts, okay? All right, here's your next problem. You can write it down while I write it down, okay? We'll do it at the same time. All right, here we go. Your next problem is 18 minus 9. 18 minus 9. Try to use the strategy that I was going over with you of thinking of their relationship. What number would go here to add up with 9 to get you 18? If you're not done, pause the video because I'm going to tell you the answer. Okay, here we go. 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. Okay, here's the next one. You can write it down with me. Okay, you ready? Are you sure? Okay, here we go. This one, we have 10 take away 7. 10 take away 7 is your equation. Okay, again, think about that relationship. What tens pairs do you know? So what number is gonna go here to add up with 7 to give you that tens pair? Pause the video if you're still working. Right, the answer is 3. Very good. One more to warm our brains up, okay? Here we are. Are you ready? Oh, are you waiting for me? Okay, here we go. Your last fact that I'm going to give you is a little bit bigger, but I know you can do it, okay? 30 take away 15. 30 take away 15. Think about that fact. How can you relate these? If you're not sure, we can count up. I'm going to show you 2 strategies here, okay? Some of you might know that this is a doubles fact. 15 plus 15 is 30, okay? However, if you didn't know, I want to practice counting up using some bigger digits, okay? Some bigger numbers. So if we were subtracting here, we could always stack those numbers up and down and do 30 minus 15, right? More on top or more on the floor? More on the floor, gotta knock next door and get 10 more. Cross out the 3, leave him with 2. And now you have not just 0, but you give that 1 away. You have 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. And 2 minus 1 is 1. We get 15. Same answer. Okay, so you can always stack them up that way. However, I also want to show you if we were using maybe, say, a number grid. So you might start at 15. Okay, I'm going to kind of draw a little number grid here for us, okay? Let's pretend I have 15, okay, and I need to get to 30, okay? 15. If I go down a box on a number grid, okay, picture a number grid, maybe you even have one, you can grab it. 15, if you go down a box, you're counting by what? When you go down on a number grid, you're counting by tens, right? Okay, so 15, you go down a box, you'd be at 25. So that little jump is 10. And then you would go across till you get to 30. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Going this way, you have another 5, right? So 10, going down 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We still would get 15 for our answer. So there's a lot of strategies. Here's the thing. When you have single digit subtraction problems, you kind of need to know them fast because all of that work is going to slow your process down when you get to these triple digit or 3-digit problems, okay? So keep practicing your basic facts. And these, they go hand in hand, okay? All right, so I promised some big fancy subtraction problems with 3-digit numbers. So our warm-up is ready. Our minds are warmed up and ready. So now we're gonna go ahead and do some big 3-digit subtraction problems, okay? So your first one is 549 minus, you ready? 267. I will show you my board so that you can write that down. Okay. 549 minus 267. For these subtraction problems, anything more than a 1-digit subtraction problem, you need to be writing them vertically or up and down. And you need to be stacking those numbers on top of each other. We also don't want any puny or teeny writing. Write it nice and big. I kind of filled my board with that problem, right? We don't want little numbers like this. Okay, nobody can see that, okay? So you need to write them nice and big so that you have a chance to really work in the problem, okay? If you have different colors, like maybe you're writing it in pencil, but you have a pen nearby or a marker nearby, or maybe you're doing it on a whiteboard like me, you can use different colors for each column. It helps you kind of line them up and think about them. Okay, so that's another strategy to visualize, or with your eyes, to kind of see each digit column, okay, for each place. So remember, these are the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. We always begin in the ones digit column. So I'm going to circle my ones digit column. You can feel free to circle along with me. It's a nice, helpful strategy, and I used a different color. I have to ask myself the words in the poem. Don't just start subtracting, okay? You need to ask yourself, more on top or more on the floor? What do you think? More on top or more on the floor? Yeah, more on top. Need to stop and subtract. What's 9 take away 7? Right, 2. Okay, now, here's where it gets interesting. You cannot just keep subtracting. You have to ask yourself the question again for the 10 spot, because you're not done, right? So here we have 4 minus 6 in the 10 spot, right? So again, you must say that poem, more on top or more on the floor. In this case, there's more on, that's right, there's more on the floor. So we gotta knock next door and get 10 more. We're gonna cross out that 5. We're not greedy, we only take 1 away. So if we have 5, we're gonna take 1 and leave him with 4. Okay, and this 4 becomes 14. We give that 1, okay? 14 take away 6. This is why we practice those strategies, right? You got it? Good. 8. And now in the hundreds column, you don't have to do it because there's nobody over here. There's no thousands. Okay, so whatever you do here is going to be it. So there is more on top. 4 minus 2 is 2. My answer is 282. Now, I'm not done with this problem. Well, I am done with this problem, but I'm going to show you something else within this. Okay, so now I have this random answer. Okay, 282, and I have no idea if it's right. But we really need to think about this as a big, huge fact triangle. So our answer down here is 282, and this number, okay, is 267. And we hope that this top number, okay, is the big one, right, which is 549, because that is, in subtraction, you always begin with the biggest number, right? So I'm hoping this is true, but I don't know. So what I'm going to do is take this number, which is here, and this number, which is here. I'm going to add them and make sure that I get 549. If I do, then I know I did it correctly. If I do not, then I know I made a mistake somewhere in my subtraction. I need to go back and fix it, okay? So we have 282 plus 267. Okay, and we're going to do that, and hopefully, again, our answer, our sum is going to be 549. So 7 plus 2 is 9. 8 plus 6, 14. Put the 1 up top. Got to keep the columns together. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. Is 549 the answer that we wanted to get? Yes. So we checked it. We know all of our subtraction was correct. And we know for sure that we were good to go. Okay? All right, we're going to do 2 more. And then I'm going to give you a few problems to do on your own to continue on your learning. Okay? 2 more. Together with me. All right? Here we go. First number. You can write it along with me. Remember, we're writing vertically. Okay, is 251 minus 131. Okay, I'll show it to you so you got it. Again, make sure you're writing it down. And if you need to or have other colors ready to go, you can use them to help circle the place that we start in, which is the 1's digit place. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and circle my 1's digit place. That way I know where I'm starting and what I'm looking at. Okay. Don't start subtracting. You have to say the poem, right? Okay, more on top or more on the floor? Numbers the same. 0 is the game. Okay, numbers the same. 0 is the game. So we have 0 there. Now I'm going to take another color. Looks like an Easter egg. All these colors. Okay, I'm going to circle my 10's place in blue. You can see it here. And I am going to just randomly subtract. No! Mrs. Green, say the poem. More on top or more on the floor? More on top, need to stop and subtract. 5 take away 3 is? Good. 2. And now I'm in the hundreds place. There's nothing over here, so I should just be able to subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. My answer is 120. The answer to a subtraction problem, do you remember what that's called? It's called the difference, right? Good. We need to check our work. Okay, so we're going to take the bottom number and this number. We're going to hopefully add it up to make the top number. Okay, so I'm going to do it over here. So 120, that was our answer. You should be doing this with me too, okay? This piece you should be doing with me. 120 plus 131. Okay, now we're adding 0 plus 1. In addition and in subtraction, you always start in that 1's digit column, okay? 0 plus 1, 1. 2 plus 3, 5. 1 plus 1, 2. Did we get our answer up here? Is that our sum? Yes. So we checked it, we got it. Okay, 1 more. Okay, 1 more together, then I'm going to give you 3 to do on your own when this video ends. Homework, Mrs. Green. Yes, you will do it. Okay, here we go. Last one for ours together, okay? All right, it's going to be a big one. Can you handle it? You can. You can do it. 842 minus 573. I'm going to show it to you in a second in case you need to see it. Okay, go ahead and write that one down. then go ahead and grab a different color if you have one, so we can circle the ones place. Don't forget, we're gonna need that subtraction poem. We're gonna say it, say it, say it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and circle my ones digit because that's where I always begin in both subtraction and addition. Okay. 2 minus 3 is 1. You should be shouting at the phone, no, Mrs. Green, that's not right. And you didn't even say the poem. You're right, I didn't. And 2 minus 3 is not 1. If I have 2 fingers and I try to take away 3, it's impossible. I get a negative number, okay? So we're not going to be mistaken that way. You know to say the poem, okay? It's not the same. 3 minus 2 is not the same as 2 minus 3, okay? So, more on top or more on the floor? More on the floor. I got to knock next door and get 10 more. Now, when you knock next door, don't be going over to Mr. 8, okay? He ain't your neighbor. He's 2 doors down. You go to your direct neighbor and knock on his door. So we're knocking on the 4's door. Cross out the 4. We're not greedy. We only take 1 away, so we leave him with 3. Here you go. Thank you. Nice doing business with you. Okay, and then we're going to have our 1 over here to make our 12. 12 minus 3, that'll work. We can do 12, take 3 away. Good, 9. Okay. And now I'm going to take a new color because I know better. I'm not just going to start subtracting randomly, okay? I'm going to take my other color. I'm going to circle my tens digit column, which now includes this funky 3 situation, okay? Because we had to borrow from this guy. So he's no longer a 4, he's a 3 now. 3 take away 7. 4? Mrs. Green, say the poem. Oh my gosh, I better get it together. More on top or more on the floor? More on the floor. I got to knock next door and get 10 more. Now, good thing I have a neighbor. He's home. He's always home. It's quarantine after all. Okay, so we're going to cross out the 8. We say thank you very much. We leave him with 7, and we have now 13 over here and not just a 3. Remember, we're not putting that 1 here because that 4 no longer exists. We took what we needed. We didn't have a 4, we have a 3. 13 minus 7, that can be done. What's 13 take away 7? 6. Okay, in our last column, you should just be able to subtract straight down. 7 minus 5, there is more on top, right? 7 take away 5, 2. Okay. So my answer is 269. That one is a little tricky because you had to go next door 2 times, right? You had to go to the tens and then again to the hundreds. That's the official sound. That's official. Okay, just so you know, that's very official sound. Okay, we need to check our work, right? That's another skill we practiced today. So we're gonna take our difference, add it with our bottom number, and hopefully we'll get our top number, okay? So here we go. We have 269 plus 573. Okay, all I'm doing is taking the bottom 2 numbers, the difference and the smaller of the subtraction problem numbers, and adding them up to see if I get the top number. If they add up correctly, then we got it right. If they don't, we know we made a mistake somewhere here and have to go back. 9 plus 3 is 12. We put down the 2, carry the 1 to the top. I'm going to make it a doubles fact. 6 plus 1 is 7, and 7 and 7 is 14. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 1 more is 8. 842, which was our top number here, so we subtracted correctly. Good job. Okay, now while I'm erasing here and giving you the last task, which is for me to leave you by yourself, okay, and practice on your own, I want you to know that there are some new QR codes for you to work on throughout the week here that are triple digit subtraction, okay? So that's something I would like for you to work on this week as well. So do a couple each day, okay? And also there's the game array concentration, which is going to help you with next week when we really start diving into multiplication. But it's also, I put Farkle on there again. So if you didn't have an opportunity last week to play that game, try it this week, okay? All right, I'm gonna write down all 3 of your problems on the board. You can go ahead and write them down with me if you'd like, or you can just pause the video once I show you my board and then write them all down that way, okay? All right, first one, 884 minus 396. Okay, I'm gonna write them in 3 different colors so it's easy for you to see them, okay? Plus it looks pretty, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, we have 642 minus 382. Okay, and last one here. Here are your problems that I would like to leave you with. So I'm going to show you, there we go. You can see all 3. Okay, you can take an opportunity to write them down now, or obviously just pause the video so you can write them down. You can write one down at a time, okay? And after you do them, okay, make sure you check them, okay? So after you finish them, you need to check them using addition, okay? So write them down, and then this is a reminder down here to check them. So you're gonna take the difference that you got, add it to the bottom number, and see if you get the top number. If you do, then you got it correct. If you do not get this top number, that means that you need to stop and go back and maybe try the problem again, okay? All right, I hope that helped. Review our subtraction when we have more than just 1-digit subtraction, double and triple digit subtraction. It's tricky and you need a lot of practice. So please make sure you're doing these 3 problems when you leave me. But also please make sure that you're doing those QR readers. And then maybe parents, another idea for you is go ahead and put some subtraction problems, make them 3-digit this week, put them on some sticky notes, put them around the house, put them outside somewhere, put them on the iPad before they can play a video game, put them on the TV. I'm thinking, okay? Before you do a video game, put 4 problems up. You must complete these 4 sticky notes before I can turn the TV on for you to do the game that you want of choice, okay? Maybe put them one in your bedroom when you wake up in the morning before you eat breakfast. That's what you do. Before dinner time, you have to do 1 more, okay? Spread it out so that it's not so cumbersome because it takes a lot of brain power. And then make sure you're practicing those basic facts as well so that we're not stuck for 10 minutes doing, 9 minus 4, and it's not taking us a long time and we're not hopping on number grids. So try to get those mental math problems down first so that then when we're doing triple digit, you're really able to move quickly through them once you do all of the other hard work like the borrowing, okay? Have that subtraction poem handy somewhere, whether it's on a picture, on a phone or a screen or something like that. Wherever you might have it, or maybe you printed it out, that's cool too. If you don't have that, take a minute, look at it on the phone or whatever screen you're looking at, write it down yourself. It'll 1, help you remember it, and 2, then you have a piece of paper copy and you don't need a printer. I'm full of good ideas, aren't I? All right. Stay tuned. Mrs. Demas has another lesson for you. And then next week, we're going to be doing some multiplication, which is so fun. I can't believe how smart you have gotten this year. You're already ready for multiplication. That's like crazy to me. So have a great week. Keep learning, keep working. Your parents aren't being mean. They're trying to tell you that you need to continue to grow your brain. So kiss it because you did a great job today. Give yourself a pat on the back and listen to your parents and get your work done. I'll see you here next week. Bye.